Tommy, Joe.
What's up?
Gentlemen,
Hey.
welcome back.
Welcome back. Just last night.
We got pixelated Tommy in the house.
Do I not look good? Oh no. No, we're not. We're just our fan from last night.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe that girl Holly will hop back on tonight. We'll see. But we got another post show to do, recapping SummerSlam. But first, let's get this show started. Why don't we? This is the Aftermath, presented to you by the Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast. Hence the logo next to Tommy's head.
That right there.
Oh, what a day! What
a long one, man.
Day! What a day that we had. WWE SummerSlam is in the books. Man, we have some things to talk about.
Yeah.
Not a great SummerSlam.
The hottest party of the summer.
Definitely. It was more like the lamest party of the summer.
Not the lamest, just the most average party of the summer that got a little
just
better. Just
another party of the summer. Yeah.
If you got a little drunk towards the end of the party and you were just like, this is good, this is fun. But tomorrow we're gonna sit there and think about it, and just be like, that was okay.
You know what? I'm glad that it's on a Saturday then, right? Because then I have my Sunday where I can kind of get over it.
Exactly. You know? And Monday's
so
already
good.
sucking
I'm glad
up.
they kind of moved it.
Exactly. Yeah, hopefully NXT tomorrow is a little better. I think it will be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. NXT
will
have
that
the
main event. The co-main event.
Yeah, Walter and Dragunov, and then you had Cole and Riley. You got Karrion Kross defending his title.
I forgot about the Walter and Dragunov match.
Yeah,
man,
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a really good show.
But man, we have a little talking to do. Not a great SummerSlam by any means, I'll tell you that much. Had some good moments though, absolutely.
It did.
But we got a couple viewers. Just to give you guys a heads up, feel free to give us a like and share. Our comment thread is open for you guys to comment and join and help us dictate our conversation tonight. We would love to talk to you guys.
Tell us about whatever you want. Tell me that I'm good looking. Tell us that you like John Cena's big muscles. Welcome Joe back to the show. It doesn't matter, man. We're excited to be here. As Wayne said last night, we're the most active podcast in the wrestling community. Never miss a week, never miss a show. We're always here. And we'll be here tomorrow, too, after NXT. But, let's talk about SummerSlam, man. First match of the night. We had the pre-show, right? It was,
by the way, Tommy, before I cut you off, before we go any further, me and you, we kept score. We took a little bit of a tally, and we tied.
Even with the bonus points?
We tied with the bonus points. I was in the lead. And then with the bonus points, you actually tied me.
There you go. I told you Big E wasn't cashing in, man. I told you it wasn't happening. Not tonight.
I thought it was going to be Big E, but it was Gage Goldberg.
Yeah, it was Gage, man. Goldberg's getting his win back in Saudi, man.
Oh, God, no, don't say that.
He's getting that title in Saudi.
Oh, no.
Baby, we're only 2 months away from another Goldberg championship reign.
Oh, boy.
Set yourself up for it. It's happening.
First match of the night, RK Bro defeats Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles. This was a fun match.
You mean AJ and Omos?
What did I just say?
Just Omos.
Just Omos.
It's been a long day, Wayne. I know I'm feeling it.
RK Bro defeats AJ and Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles, which was to be expected. We predicted that. I mean, Stephen Wonder could have seen that coming. As far as the storyline that was building up all summer long. Matt Riddle came out pretty hot tonight. Randy Orton. The show started out hot. Good match. And I think maybe we even talked about this match as, or maybe you did, Tommy, as a possibility of this match starting off the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I thought it would. You needed a big pop. I think Orton is kind of always over. As we've seen with Riddle, he was a good part. He was really over. I was kind of hoping when they didn't come out together, I was kind of hoping just as a funny moment, I think it would have been great if Randy would have come out with the scooter himself. Just, both of them riding on that. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I know we kind of glossed over it, or we kind of didn't even mention it. The Big E versus Baron Corbin match on the pre-show was nothing special, but it happened. But yeah, man, I enjoyed RK Bro versus Omos and AJ. I thought Omos would get a little bit more into the match. Just kind of seemed like he was just there to take the, the hit from the outside during the hot tag or whatever. But a good match to start. The crowd was into it. I think this was probably, as I'm sure I said last night, the best match to start the show with, and I think it delivered.
Yeah, they basically cut off the ring from AJ, and Randy Orton was knocking him out, and Riddle was getting the shots on Omos. Omos was falling off the apron half the time. Joe, what did you think of this match?
So, yeah, I was just telling Tommy before, and I told you, Wayne, too, that, I was able to catch SummerSlam towards the end of the Eva Marie segment thing, and so I didn't get a chance to watch the actual match, but what I will say is in terms of where we go from here, in terms of tomorrow night, or rather, I think I'm Sunday, right?
It really does. So, it really is weird to think.
But in any case, on Mondays, Monday Night Raw, RK Bro has been one of the most entertaining things, or at least the most palatable things to watch on Raw. And so I look forward to seeing, I look forward to seeing how they handle the tag team title reigns. I really hope that they continue working with AJ and Omos. Maybe they try to chase them, chase the titles back, just because I think Omos, could still use some, work with AJ before before he breaks off, by himself. And I will say I would have said the same thing about Doudrop and Eva, that I think that it's too early for Doudrop to leave Eva. But in any case,
yeah, I don't know. I need to see AJ back in the title picture. They need somebody a consistent figure in that title picture, and I think he could fit in there. Omos, I think, can kind of take over that Braun Strowman, just kind of the big guy heel or whatever kind of role, and fit in well there. So I do think that they could fit together well if they stick together. I expect maybe just because they lost, a little bit of dissension growing on Monday Night Raw, and maybe AJ's just fed up because they lost the title and it's all Omos's fault or something like that. We'll see. But otherwise, I like this match. I had no problem with it.
Moving on, we had Alexa Bliss defeat Eva Marie. Doudrop turns on Eva at the end. Doudrop puts on Eva's jacket, so to speak, and starts dancing around with it. Eva getting all pissed and everything. Lily played a factor in the match. Eva tried using Lily against Alexa Bliss, but that did not work out. That actually amped up Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss got the win from there. Doudrop will be splitting off from Eva Marie. That's happening. Hopefully Doudrop gets her name back, Piper Niven, because this is just the most retarded thing I've ever seen, to be honest. But as we talked about yesterday, Tommy, Joe, I don't know if you know, Doudrop is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. They it's a nickname for munchkins up in New England. So you go to New England, and if you you normally ask for a donut or a munchkin or whatever you want, they call it dewdrop.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until the customer was asking for it in front of me.
That's what we call them here, man. We call them donut holes.
Donut holes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Midwest way.
United States title, Damian Priest gets the win over Sheamus. I think this is about the right time in that match that Sheamus had on. Basically told the story tonight when Damian Priest ripped the mask off of Sheamus's face, and Damian Priest got some shots in.
Yeah.
Some pretty good spots here. You see Damian Priest doing a front flip from the inside to the outside of the ring onto Sheamus. And we had a pretty good little stiff match here. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, good match. I honestly thought at the time this was the best match of the show, including the pre-show match, going into what it was. I had no problems with this one. I was a little surprised that they did the Sheamus, title change. I thought his reign had been pretty good. The crowd really was over with the, ripping off the face mask. Sheamus's that part. I like it. I think Damian Priest is a really good wrestler. I really enjoyed his time in NXT. Again, he's one of those people that we see, get the call up, and he's been an imperative part of Raw, but not really anything too special. And I think that this reign could maybe push him to that. It just depends on what they do with him.
He had some good Tans partners on NXT.
He did.
That's true.
But as long as he's not doing any more stuff with it, and please let's not talk about it after this, but the whole moist, promo that they had, oh my goodness. That was the innuendos they were dropping during that was just terrible. But as long as he's not involved with Miz and Morrison anymore, we're good. I think he'll have a good reign. I'd love to see this match again. Sheamus is constantly underrated. I think he is one of the best pure storytellers and wrestlers in the ring in WWE. His matches with Drew McIntyre at the beginning of the year were fantastic. He's just so good. He tells such a good story. I hope they get to fight again. Maybe we'll see it at Extreme Rules. Let's see a tables match. Let me see a tables match between these two at Extreme Rules.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I wrote down almost pretty much exactly those same points about, especially with Sheamus being super consistent.
He never puts on a bad match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and to your point, Wayne, also giving Damian Priest a good dance partner in NXT. Well, Sheamus is as best of a dance partner as you can get. You know what I mean? And so, for me, I'm not a big Damian Priest fan. I appreciate his work in the ring. I appreciate, I guess the place that he's holding right now. That mid card wrestler who's going to be that guy who's going to entertain the crowd, who's going to, sell toys, sell T-shirts, whatnot. And so, cool. And I hope that he does well with the title. Which I think is also a good time to point out that Tiffany Haddish called it the national title.
The national title. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Which I think was cute. Whatever. You're calling out these celebrities to come out to Vegas of all places and get on to SummerSlam. Why not? It's a missed opportunity. I will tell you, a missed opportunity to reunite our new U.S. title holder with Bad Bunny. I wish Bad Bunny was.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that. And I understand, I've done the commentary thing. We do the podcast thing. You slip over your words and stuff. You get nervous. You're on a big stage, but come on. United States versus the national. You can't mess that up that bad.
Right. I think that, Damian Priest did well with making sure to mention U.S. title.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which again, I think is a testament to the fact that, I think he's ready for a title, and I think that it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. I'm rooting for him, but I just like overall I'm not super over on Damian Priest.
Excuse me.
Moving on, we had the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We're on the line tonight. Usos defended against the Mysterios.
What a sleeper of a match, man.
It
put Wayne to sleep.
It put me to sleep. I'm like, I messaged Tommy like after the match was over. Like, what happened in this match? Did I miss anything?
It was fine, but it just.
It was just like an extension
I guess
of what
they're
happened
gonna.
yesterday.
I guess they're gonna resort to the long burn of a storyline on this with Dominic and Rey Mysterio.
I know what it was.
Or should I say slow burn?
It was used to like get that lasting image of the family being having all the championships, but man, what a waste of a match. This would have been another SmackDown match that I just didn't care about.
Right. It would have been cool if Dominic turned tonight, and I'm like waiting for it, and then scene change, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, we were calling for it last night on our prediction show, possibly Dominic turning, but I guess we're gonna probably hang a little bit longer on that, and maybe they kind of just probably want to do it at the right time so you can stretch it out long enough to say like WrestleMania.
What is the right time? Is it Survivor Series? Like how long?
I would say so. Are
you gonna put them still in the title picture till then?
No. You could have like the teams, the Survivor Series teams, and then you have Dissension or something like that. Kind of like Hart family versus Jerry Lawler and the Knights, or should I say Shawn Michaels and the Knights?
It's still weird. I still kind
something like that.
There's a Survivor Series match every year.
Yeah, and it's coming to Brooklyn. Some rumors about that. It's possible. I might consider. The Rock is supposed. The Rock is. You'll sell the tickets first before they tell you the card, unfortunately. But the Rock is rumored to be showing up at this year's Survivor Series, so which is believable. So the Usos retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. At least up until this point, the first hour to hour and a half of the show was kind of underwhelming for me. It was kind of this SummerSlam Overall kind of felt like a Saturday Night Raw or something. That's what I would have to call it for.
Until the last 3-4 matches, I was ready to tap out. Pardon the pun, but maybe not Saturday Night Raw because I didn't grow up with that, but like it was nothing, man. I really just wasn't interested. The whole
there was never a Saturday Night Raw,
huh?
There was never a Saturday Night Raw, Tommy.
Oh, I'm sure they did it. Come on, no way.
There was Saturday Night main event.
There was never Saturday Night, but I call it like it was just like Monday Night Raw, except Saturday night. So
they did a Thursday night.
It was
Thursday night Thursday.
Thursday night Thursday.
Yeah, they used to do Saturday night main event, right?
Yeah.
But
those were good.
I mean,
those were good.
Not to say that this pay-per-view was that type of caliber, like today's main event. I'm pretty sure they still do main events,
Saturday nights.
Dude, hey man, Shotgun Saturday Night had one of my favorite matches.
The first 3 weeks were good, and then after that went the
Taker and Triple H is one of the first matches I ever watched on. DVD.
Right at Penn Station, baby.
Exactly, man. That's one of my favorites of all time.
Funny.
I don't know why, but I think that's just because it was like one of the first ones I ever watched.
I sent the video of that to my railroad friends that work on the railroad of how Undertaker and Triple H fought in Penn Station. That cracks me up, to be honest.
Awesome.
Especially if you're like a Long Island Railroad worker and you're a wrestling fan, you gotta be amused by that. But the Women's SmackDown title, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks until... So they basically, this was weird because they had the image come up, the promotional graphic, the promotional graphic. You see the pictures of Sasha versus Bianca Belair. And then the ring announcer announces that Sasha will not be competing tonight. I don't know what's going on with her, to be honest.
It's got to do with the whole... Hey, man. whatever, do what you want to do, but like, it's got to be the fact that she's anti-vax. She must have got COVID or something. Obviously, I can't say that, and predict that without knowing. I'm not a reporter when it comes to that, but I'm assuming that's what it has to do. I saw something that they said that they knew about this like 8 days ago, so maybe that's what it was. But yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of a surprise come out.
Carmella was the surprise. Carmella was the surprise until the match is about to start and Becky's music goes off. Becky takes out Carmella, challenges Bianca Belair, and in moments the bell rings. We get a handshake and then a punch in the face from Becky to Belair. And then we get the manhandle slam by Becky Lynch immediately after that. And she's your new women's champion, just like that. First off, the crowd tonight was hot for her. Not a CM Punk chant. Not a CM Punk pop. No.
Which is
no.
We're doing.
Which is fine. I mean, you're talking about
CM Punk's an extraordinary pop.
Yeah,
but this was a really good pop, though. For
Wayne,
her.
I didn't mention this, and
she's over.
I'll make it quicker. I didn't mention this last night. I think this was the most, when we look at moments like Hogan joining the NWO, Mankind winning the title, Rock, coming back, and Goldberg spearing him. All that. I think that of all the moments that have changed the tide in wrestling, I still think Punk's might be number one, and it's hard to compare Becky coming back because obviously, as we saw, she's super over. But again, it's just tough to not look at it in the same vein of like, okay, well, that happened last night, and now you have two big returns come back tonight, and they were both extremely good, and the pops were there.
It seems to me Becky Lynch is clearly WWE Universe's fan favorite for sure. I think.
Oh, for sure.
The leader out of all the fan favorites.
I'm gonna make it quick on this match. It was stupid. I'm sorry.
Oh, Belair got buried fast.
The fact that
I did not like that.
Not only did Belair get buried, I know a lot of people aren't fans of Carmella, and I'm not one of them, but she got extremely buried. Like, she got made to look like a punk. Like, she just got thrown out. I get it. Becky's over, but like, Carmella was a former champion. She's a good hand to have in the ring. Like, I don't understand it. Why not? Why even have that match if it's going to be 15 seconds? Like, I literally was walking down the stairs of my apartment, my house, and I heard them say, "And your new champion," and I was like, "Wait, really? Did that just happen? Like, did the ending just happen?" I had to come back up and see the replay. Like, what a bad decision, man. Like, I get the pop. I understand, it's a big moment, but like 15 seconds, like, come on. I go number 2 longer than that, dude. Like,
I mean, so I get it with, and again, I don't want to talk too much about it either. I get people needing to do what they need to do for themselves, you know what I mean? For Sasha not being here or whatever. And like I said, there's no confirmation as to what's really going on. We'll figure it out.
We don't. And it's bad for me to assume that that's what it was.
No. But honestly, like, I get, we as fans, we are still, wanting these people to do well with their lives, with whatever that's going on, right?
Yeah.
And so same thing with Becky Lynch, right? That, and I can speak from a parent, right? That, coming back to whatever it is from parenting is difficult. And so, like, who knows, who's to say that Becky is like 100% ready? I know the rumor mill saying that she's, has been ready for months or whatever. And
exactly,
and she herself has been kind of having fun with like trolling everybody too,
So, just like Punk was last night.
Right. And so, like, for her to come out, and I think she really saved that moment. You know what I mean? Like, there was still like something like momentous about what happened with that women's division, you know, and I think the pop is what's going to be what overshadows like the terrible match that it was. At least that's what I hope, you know, like looking back years from now.
It's the bad thing that pop will get compared to Punk, like because of how momentous that of an occasion that was. But like as you said, Becky, she was savoring the moment, man. And the one thing that I still think sets AEW, and again, we're not talking about AEW on this show, but what sets WWE apart from AEW, their women's division, man, is still really good and it's really talented. And not saying that AEW's isn't, but WWE does a really good job with their women's division. And I think that this was a good moment, but you can't just bury your champion who's done a fantastic job of carrying this company. Obviously, she had the match with, you know, she won the Rumble, which was in front of no fans. She had the match at WrestleMania in front of fans, but she's been carrying this company as the women's champion since then.
Oh, for sure.
Really
she won an ESPY, and you advertised it.
Exactly.
You know, you
they put it in the promo.
You know, like here it is. You guys won an ESPY, and then the casual fan who's watching because like, oh yeah, I saw them on the
ESPN. Exactly.
You know,
that's a great way to put it. Yes.
And then all of a sudden you see her lose after you know, like a squash match. Like really,
it really was a squash match.
So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man.
Everyone deserved better. I understand you're kind of making lemonade out of the lemons, you know, but
the in-game Untitled will be good.
I will say real quick. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
Real quick, in terms of like, it's hard to compare all of these different returns, but what is really cool is that like us as the wrestling fans will be able to look back on this weekend and saying so many returns. You know what I mean? And so, like,
I really do.
We're all the winners. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's even crazier to think that tomorrow we still get we get Samoa Joe back in the ring, man.
Samoa Joe, yeah.
Like this, like I think that's the best way to put it. As a wrestling fan, this might be one of the more momentous weekends, ever. I think it probably is. I mean, when you look at Becky's been gone for a year, Brock's been gone for a year and a half. Punk's been gone for 7 years. Joe's been gone for a year and a half. Like this is huge, man. It's Cena. Cena hadn't wrestled in what they say 500 days was his last pay-per-view match. Yeah. Like it's big, man. It's been a really fun weekend to be a wrestling fan. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of squash matches, the next one that we'll talk about really quick. Drew McIntyre defeats Jinder Mahal. What a squash match that was. Did this match really need to be on the card?
No, I'm glad it was short.
Yeah, this was a Raw match. I did love the tease of he almost hitting whatever their names are, Skanky and Sleazy or whatever with the sword. I thought that was hilarious. Like he really was, in the commentary, he sold it like he really was going to hit him and stuff. I thought that was great. He was going to chop their heads off, and the Legion Stadium was going to go crazy.
Again, I think about the casual fan. I'm like, they're going to think that these people really like hit each other with swords.
Yeah.
I wish. No, I don't.
Yeah, make wrestling a lot more interesting.
Then, what a surprise. The Raw Women's title, Nikki
no, we're not talking
Nikki
about
ASH versus Rhea versus Charlotte. Charlotte gets the win. Figure 8 on Nikki Ash. Charlotte is your new women's champion. Again, when I think of Charlotte winning all these titles, I think of cash inflation. That's exactly what's happening here. She wins the title, loses a month later. Wins the title, loses it 3 weeks later. This is and now this is added up to 12 WWE title reigns, not counting the NXT title reigns she had, which I think was like 2 or 3. So yeah, she is now 12-time women's WWE Women's Champion. Most of her reigns, she's only held the belt for about a month. Tommy, your thoughts?
Nope, I'm not getting into this match. I told you I quit right after. It was a good match. It really was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Charlotte had a good outing. She had a really good outing.
But
and this was the second best match in my opinion of the night.
It was up there. I'm tired
up to this point. You're saying, or like overall?
I would say overall for the whole night.
Okay.
Or second, no more than third, but it was up there, top 3 for sure.
Actually, yeah,
possibly top 2.
Yeah, I'm not, as I've made clear on this show, I'm not the biggest. I'm sure she's a great person in real life. It's not a personal thing. I'm tired of 12 title wins, and she's been in WWE like on the main roster and for 5 years. Like, come on, dude. Even Cena didn't have that much. Like, I'm just tired of seeing her win. I know a lot of people weren't over with Nikki Ash, but like, come on, dude. Like, just it's such a cop out for her to win every single time. Like,
yeah.
I appreciate the fact it's just like LeBron for me. I appreciate the fact that he's good. I know that she's good in the ring. I get that. She's a great promo. She plays a great heel, but like, I'm so tired of seeing her when I know how good the rest of the women's rosters and how much talent there is, and the fact that they just keep going to that.
Charlotte Reigns.
She is. Like you said, it's a cash inflation. They know that they will get money off of her winning and doing. I'm sure she'll do the I'm the best, I'm the queen. Let's there's been rumors of the Queen of the Ring, stuff that they're doing with the King of the Ring. Like, I'm sure that the winner gets the title versus Charlotte. Like, but I'm just so done seeing her constantly win titles at such a quick rate. She is the Cena thing, but even more fast track. Like, Cena took 12, 13 years to win 16 titles, 5 years, and she's won 12 titles. Like, that's just too much for me, man. There's too much talent on the roster for you to not be giving it to other people or not letting people like Nikki, who's done a good job. Obviously, her character's not over, but she's having fun. She's enjoying herself, and she's done something that she wants to do. Or even Rhea Ripley, who's been, probably the second best woman on the roster outside of Bianca this year. It just seems like they're just really burying the rest of their roster by always giving it to Charlotte. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I'm done with Charlotte, so I'll pass on to Joe and Wayne, and then we can get on to the next match.
No, I think what you said obviously resonates with a lot of fans, I think. And I also think that even though Nikki Ash isn't over, I still would have liked to have seen a better reign from her, just because, like, I get it with last year's Money in the Bank, obviously with COVID being kind of weird, but also Becky Lynch, kind of stepping out with, with everything. And so we didn't get a real, and that was
right.
Fine.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then here we get an actual cash in, and then which was like the next night. And so we don't get to see, someone with the briefcase. Would have been cool to see Nikki Ash with the briefcase for an extended amount of time, you know what I mean? Like, even the one before last year, I think Alexa Bliss did it that night, right? On Ronda Rousey, I believe it was.
I just feel like that's a good point. The Money in the Bank isn't really it is an important thing, but it's just like, what happened to the luster of like, oh, they'll wait 8 months for them to cash in? Like, it's right. Always within 2 months now. It's always within something that's like extremely quick. Like,
right. And that's why, I mean, same thing for later on. Like, I was hoping that maybe Big E would do whatever. But same thing with, like, Nikki Ash. It's like she cashes it in. She gets her moment, which is great. And then the very next pay-per-view, you kind of just transitioning it back to the person you took it from. So what was the point? You know what I mean? Because so that you could say that you could. So that you say, I was almost a champion.
It's just a waste of something that was so huge in the past. Like, I remember as a kid, like, the Money in the Bank, like, if your favorite superstar won Money in the Bank, like, he was the next star. Like when
Right.
when even shit, even when Mr. Kennedy won it, like before he had to give it.
know. I
was
always think
huge,
about Kennedy.
like that was a
Like, he
huge
killed it.
status thing.
Yeah. And then Damien Sandow won it.
And that but he losing, to Cena, like
He lost it to Cena, yeah.
like I understand it, but like it just doesn't have that luster anymore. And it's still an important pay-per-view and like a fun pay-per-view to watch, but like it just who cares anymore? They're gonna get rid of the title, they're gonna get rid of the case after 2 months, or in last year's case with Otis, they're just not even gonna use it. They're just gonna act like the fans don't remember, and that's the end of it.
Right.
So the next match following all this was Edge versus Seth Rollins, which arguably, in most people's opinions, could very well have been the best match of the night.
It was definitely up there.
Definitely.
Edge getting the win. This was no surprise to most of us. I felt like Edge was good. Yes, the Brood entrance. A lot of fans are raving about that.
I said that was pretty sweet because I was really shitting on the pay-per-view at that point.
I was wondering if he was going to be flanked by Gangrel. That would have been pretty cool.
I was hoping
that would have made for a better
Gangrel.
moment.
That would have been.
When I heard that music,
that would have been.
When
cool.
I heard that music, I was kind of hoping that they brought the whole Brood out. Like I was kind of hoping they borrowed Christian, like on a good
the Forbidden Door.
Yeah, like that would have just like on a good terms deal. Like that would have been cool. Like obviously,
Chris Jericho was on Broken Skull.
Exactly, like the Forbidden Door. I don't know if I like that term, but it's been busted open. Like let's just be cool with everybody. Like I don't need to see CM Punk back in WWE, but in that sense with the Brood, like that would have been cool. Like to have Gangrel, to have Christian, like to have the whole crew come out, because obviously it was a big match and it had that big match feel. And for a story that they haven't told, I think it was 2014 they were going back when they were talking about like the Authority and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like that's a good story. I mean, that's long form storytelling at its finest. Like I thought that could have been I'm pretty sure in the scene that they were showing from that storyline, I'm pretty sure Christian was involved in that story. So having him show up would have been cool. But hey, you can't have the perfect world. But yeah, I dug this match a lot. I thought it was kind of the turning point of the show almost, where everything kind of started just to get a little bit better. But
the pre-show ended.
Yeah, the pre-show ended. It was a good match. So Edge looks great.
How about that spot with Seth Rollins turning Edge's spear into
the pedigree.
Into the pedigree.
That and the spot where they were throwing him into the steel steps, man, that was a little brutal for me with this whole neck injury.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think I said it the last time I was on when we were talking about Edge. He continues to surprise me with his just overall conditioning and his ability to be as physical as he gets in the ring.
His willingness
I get worried
to push
for
the
him.
boundaries.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, I'm worried for him, and like,
exactly.
but to that point, I think that's what overall, I think is what the show definitely needed up to that point. And I'm glad that, Edge was able to get this moment. And you want to talk about that spot and you want to talk about trusting the dance partner. That's going like,
for
dude's
sure.
head's going right for your junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Edge take some good bumps today. A Falcon Arrow by Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
We saw the suplex, which turned into the Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
So Edge took some nice bumps there. He looks great tonight. I would have never known he was out for 9 years out of wrestling.
It's still weird to think that he was.
And like he looks great. I mean, he only aged slightly in the face, but other than that, he looks great in the ring.
Yeah.
His pacing, very good. I mean, I even liked that match last year when he wrestled Randy Orton, which was pitched as the greatest wrestling match ever, which was a little bit.
Hey man, I dug that match. That's an
I
underrated match.
dug that match
Underrated match.
too. That was a great match, but
It
anyhow,
was
I
the greatest
digress.
wrestling match ever.
But Edge is looking very
In
good
front
out
of no
there.
audience.
In front of nobody. Nobody got to see it.
Not even the Thunderdome.
Exactly.
Moving on.
We were in the Performance Center. Gosh, that still feels so weird to think about. That was literally just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Moving on, we we're gonna talk about the WWE Championship matches next. But for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you share this with your friends. Message them the link. Tell them to subscribe. Like share all day long, and get the word out here that we are with you guys all weekend. As you can see, depending on the time zone you're in, but we are in the Eastern time zone in New York. 1:10 after 1 a.m. and Tommy, you barely fall in the Eastern time zone, but 10 a.m. It is 1:10 a.m. in the morning over here, but we are here with you guys after this 4-hour SummerSlam show. But moving on, we'll be done in just minutes. But we had Goldberg versus Lashley. Goldberg challenging for Lashley's WWE Championship belt. And oh man, this match. Tommy, you may have to take this one over because the way this match ended, the way they booked this, I was ready to flip out.
Like you just gave Goldberg something to do.
I was a little surprised. Like they really bit into the whole Goldberg's old. Like it was just weird. It was just a weird ending. The fact that his son got involved really does. I said it before the show started. Like, I'm sorry, but Goldberg's winning that damn title at Saudi Arabia, man. He's getting it. October, he's winning. I don't know. It was fine. I mean, I expected it to go like 3 minutes, and it didn't. It went whatever, like 7 or something. Funny enough that this match was one of the longer lasting matches of the entire night. But yeah, I thought it was fine. It wasn't terrible.
The way it ended in a no decision with MVP hitting Goldberg and Goldberg goes down and he can't wrestle anymore. The ref calls the match.
It was so drawn out too. That whole segment where he was grabbing his knee and stuff, like that just seemed to go on forever. Like it was just like, dude, come on. Like I thought you're this not. Like they've made Goldberg obviously look like he's tough because he is, but like it just didn't stop, and then they just randomly decide, oh, we're gonna end the match. Like he can't compete. I was very surprised with that.
Yeah, I was surprised that I was even a little concerned that Goldberg was maybe.
I really was too. I thought he like did something.
I knew this match was too long. No, but it was what it was. I probably could have seen that on a Monday Night Raw title match. You know what I mean? And I think that would have been a more appropriate, even if that's how you wanted to end a show with your champion. You know what I mean? Like on a Monday Night Raw, but on a SummerSlam Big Four pay-per-view, your champion is, and this is how you're going to treat him. I think does it hurt Lashley's image? No. I mean, I think it just gives him a little bit more heat. I think that's the whole point, right? And then kind of also gives.
I don't know about heat. Lashley was being cheered big time tonight over Goldberg.
Oh, they were so excited that he was attacking his son. They were brutal. The fans in Las Vegas did not care one bit. They were like that Michael Jordan meme where it says, F them kids. They didn't care.
The fans clearly, at least from like all the fans at the lower level, turn on Goldberg and his son, and
which is needed.
Lashley was
getting Goldberg out of here, man. Tell Vince McMahon we don't need him anymore. But you're looking at your new WWE champion in October. I'll put my money on that one.
Oh gosh, don't say that. It's go away heat there.
What do you mean? Don't say that. You know it's happening.
I hope not. Why not? Why not Crown Jewel? Why can't it be Extreme Rules with the stipulations and the weapons and stuff?
They're not doing it at Extreme Rules. You think the Saudi prince doesn't want them to do a title change there? You get Hulk Hogan there too. They can celebrate like it's WCW.
Here's the stipulation: Gage in a cage match.
Ooh, with Adam Page. Yes, break the forbidden door. Bring everybody over.
You get Nick Cage over.
Bring it all in. I want it all.
Oh man! So yeah, Bobby Lashley retains, and we were expecting a cash in here at some point with Big E. I was very much expecting Big E to cash in tonight, but I guess they're gonna drag that one out, which is fine. You technically have until July of next year.
Yep.
As a matter of fact,
weekend of next year. July
4th weekend, Money in the Bank pay-per-view is going to be in Las Vegas in the same stadium. Can you believe that? Sadly. I'm not too sure if they could fill 50,000 people there.
Think they can fill
for Money in the Bank? I'm not sure.
I think they can find 50,000 people in Vegas on July 4th weekend.
Exactly. They'll just bring people in. I offer them free ice cream bars.
That's it.
They'll all be in there.
The main event of the night, the big match most wrestling fans have been waiting for. Roman Reigns defending
American Most Wanted, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, we gotta talk about that really quick.
No, we don't. No, we do not.
We gotta what was that? The water gun called the Moist 2000 or something? The Moist Stick 2000.
Yeah, that's it.
Drip Stick 2000 with Xavier Woods coming out dressed like Scott Hall. Doing his impression. This was ridiculous. And Tommy, you're right. We don't need to talk about it, but we can talk about how bad it really was. Like, this is getting really, really bad with WWE booking.
This is Wayne's favorite part of the night is when John Morrison shows up.
And I like bringing it up. I'm sorry. I kind of popped myself.
You ruined my night now.
Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Roman Reigns was controlling the match quite a bit for a good duration of the match. We see John Cena with a flair of a comeback. They're trying to tell you the story that John Cena's rusty. He's a step behind, just getting you to believe that Roman Reigns the better one out of two. It was decent for what it was. We see Roman Reigns get that final spear on John Cena for the 1, 2, 3. No pun intended to the whole story lead up. But Roman Reigns gets the 1, 2, 3 on John Cena tonight. Roman Reigns is still your champion. It was good seeing the two of them work together. But then Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock Lesnar, how did you feel about the shape that he was in, Tommy?
Man, I loved it. He looked like a big old Viking. He looked like Edge coming out of the History Channel TV show Vikings, man. I thought it was great. I was excited. I popped. I kind of lost my mind. I hope I didn't annoy my roommate, but man, I dug it. I was very excited. I expected it a little bit. I don't know why, but when it happened, man, it was just cool. It was a good moment. I liked his look. Paul Heyman sold it well too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you can't forget, or WWE would like you to forget that Paul Heyman was Brock Lesnar was a Paul Heyman guy for so long.
Yeah, nobody got Brock Lesnar as a face.
We knew that this was going to happen at some point. I really couldn't, and we even talked about it months and months ago that there's definitely an untold story between Lesnar and Roman Reigns. When they do that match, I couldn't tell you when.
Extreme Rules.
I guess if they want to bring him out for that,
no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. But it would be cool though. Let me get another.
He'll probably
table.
be there.
I want all tables matches. Extreme Rules. I love me a good table match.
You want every match to be a table match.
Every match, man. I'm a big table match fan. I love a table match. Tag team table match. Let me get a fatal 4-way table match. Let me get a Divas table match. A women's championship. Hell, make it 24/7. Reggie versus R-Truth in a tables match. Put it all on the line.
You'd be a good Bills fan.
I would Oh, well, it's a good thing I'm a Broncos fan. I like bad teams, not good teams. My team wins Super Bowls. They just aren't good after.
I'm not looking forward to Crown Jewel, to be honest with you. These Saudi Arabia shows have been trash.
You're gonna watch it? I mean, that's your first problem is you're watching it.
I will not watch that show. We will not do an aftermath of that show.
We will not. I won't. If
no.
I wouldn't be on it. That's for sure.
There was a time I used to go out of my way to watch it live. I remember when it was like one of the first ones, I think. Super Show. Well, one of the Super Shows.
Yeah, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon over here.
It was like Halloween. I was sitting in class in college. Sometimes my parents, but I watched that and it was terrible. I think that was the one where Shane won Best in the World.
How about the greatest Royal Rumble?
No, don't.
The greatest Royal Rumble.
I think that may have been it. I think that may have been the one that I watched.
Titus O'Neil.
We got Akebono or whatever.
O'Neil. Yeah.
There was so many. Wasn't that the first? Well, that was the first time we saw. I almost said Colonel Mustafa. What's Dabakado's name now? It's something stupid.
Oh.
I'm sure they'll change his gimmick.
Colonel.
It is Colonel Mustafa Part 2.0.
Colonel Aziz.
Like that.
Colonel Aziz. That's correct.
That's what it is.
Right.
So we had Roman Reigns is walking out champion, and we know we're getting that match at some point. Do we do this as Survivor Series?
The Lesnar match?
Yeah.
Probably. You need a big match, and I think that I just feel like I was talking with Joe while you were setting it up. I feel like you could take the title off of Reigns before then, and then still do that. The whole Rock showing up in Survivor Series type thing without the title, and that sets up the whole Rock versus Roman no title match to WrestleMania. Yeah, I don't feel like that match needs to have the title going into it. I feel like there needs to, honestly, if Big E cashes in on Bobby, maybe that's what they do at Saudi Arabia. Who knows? Because that is before Survivor Series, and then you can do Bobby versus Brock for this title, and then still do the Roman versus Rock without the title. I'd like that. That would be good for me.
Well, there's a lot of questions still to be answered. When Big E is going to cash his title in, I would imagine probably now. Obviously, I have to backtrack because we didn't see the cash in tonight.
We tied.
I think we could probably see it maybe in the fall, probably sometime.
It's happening before Christmas, which I know is obviously that seems far away, but that is only 4 months away. But it's happening this year. I'd be very surprised just because I know WWE. I'd be very surprised if they don't do it within the calendar year of this year.
We have a fan that does not want Brock Lesnar to win the belt again.
No, David.
I mean,
get over
listen.
It.
Yeah.
This isn't Brock Lesnar. This is Viking Lesnar. His name's not Brock anymore. He is a member of the Viking Raiders. He is the new manager.
Oh, how cool would that be?
Yeah,
now that he's a babyface, he could team up with anyone.
I would be so down with Brock Lesnar. Let me see Brock in Cena, man. Brock in Shelton Benjamin like they're doing back in OVW. Like, let me see that. Let me get some more Shelton Benjamin on my roster.
Listen, the problem with Brock having a title is that he was never there with the belt. And I think that frustrated, and he would never do a match on Raw.
That's fine. Like, I mean, I understand that, but like,
talk about the 30-day rule.
Every time
the 30-day rule only applies to certain wrestlers.
Yes,
apparently.
But every time he did show up, it was a ratings boost. It was huge. So like I understand people wanting like your champion to be there, but I think it, and I didn't like it, but I almost think it adds a little bit more prestige because when he does defend it, everybody's eye is on that match. You don't need to have the title defended at every show. Like obviously, if it's night champions, it's not the Clash of Champions or whatever. Like obviously that makes sense now, but I'm cool with him not being there every time. Like I just we know that Brock draws ratings, so
For sure.
if he won the title, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
I would be down for it.
Yeah.
It's better than Bobby Lashley, in my opinion. No offense to Bobby, he's done a really good job, but
Bobby's having a good, long, healthy reign right now.
Bobby can't talk, and I'd rather again I like MVP, but I like Paul Heyman a hell of a lot more. So
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a talker, let me get some Paul Heyman again. Because
Let's
compare
the two.
That's going to be an interesting dynamic with Paul Heyman and Lesnar. What their interactions are going to be coming up. You would think starting on Friday, if he's out, if Lesnar's there, that is.
I'm sure he will be. If not Lesnar, Cena will be there again.
We don't even know. He might go back to movies.
No, don't say that.
This could have been a one-off thing just to pack out the Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium.
Hope
not. I think he'll be around a little bit here and there. I wouldn't expect them every week, though.
Well, no, I think that I was actually surprised. Like, I'm not surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that Cena had shown up to so many shows. He was there
basically every week.
Yeah, and I like that they even like promoted that. Like John Cena will be here on these days, and like I think that it might be time for John Cena to be like, all right, I did my month and a half or whatever, doing this. I think I'm good, especially with the timing with the movies and stuff. But then,
and the whole Peacemaker show coming. I would almost feel robbed if I don't see Cena at some point win that 17th title. I just he has to do it. He has to pass Ric Flair. Like, please, 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 please don't let Charlotte be the person to pass Ric Flair. Like, please.
Oh no,
that would be hard scrap. Her titles are all short.
But that would be a huge thing that they would, market. Like, please, let's just have even if it's for a night, like let Cena retire the belt or something. Like just let him win 17 and call it a day.
Hey, that would have been, Tommy, that's a really good idea. Have him retire the belt, have him retire the Universal title, and then just
if they get rid of the brand,
get rid of the brands. That's got to happen. That's got to happen soon.
Well, not
he'll be the king of the universe, and he can go off, and that's it.
The draft, the draft's coming, man.
Yeah. Let's come and give it a week or two. Yeah, they're probably gonna do it right around All Out. By the way,
I've heard
like the Monday after.
For September.
Oh, you're not really okay. So that pretty much wraps up our SummerSlam talk. Again, kind of an underwhelming show for me.
It's a 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I got on a scale of 1 to 10, I got to give it a 5. For sure.
It wasn't the worst thing I've seen.
Yeah, it was dragging a lot. It just felt like a Monday night.
The last few matches saved it, but they really saved it.
Sure.
Again, like I said, Dwayne, I would have shit on this show really hard if it wasn't for Lesnar, but the fact that he showed up and it made it better. And those last few matches did save it. I really think Cena had a really good showing, and that's why I'm saying, like, I hope he doesn't just go away. Like, he had a really good match with Roman. I honestly was getting Lesnar vibes at the beginning. I thought they were doing the 2014 all over again. But yeah, good show overall. Not the worst thing I've seen. Not the best SummerSlam. It's 6.5. I'll be nice and give it 6.5.
Joe, really quick, before we go off the air, your thoughts on last night's CM Punk appearance?
Okay, so I'm just happy that I can see like genuine joy from CM Punk. You know what I mean? And I think that like his promo like was amazing, and it was. I mean, how poetic that he gets to get all these really big moments, you know, in Chicago, and I think that it's a testament to what wrestling can be when you just give the fans exactly what they want. You know what I mean? Like, there's no beating around the bush. It's like, obviously there's like the rumor mill and the teasing and whatnot, and that's all fun, right? But they just started out the show. Here it is, you know, Rampage, first dance, CM Punk, cult of personality, comes out, the whole spiel. You know, the T-shirt looks sick. The fans in the front row had the big flag, and so that was kind of cool too. And then he calls out Darby Allin, and so I can't imagine being Darby Allin at that moment. You know, being that dude in the rafters next to Sting, and just seeing CM Punk call you out, like that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? And so, and we were saying this before, like, what a time to be a wrestling fan. You know, what a time to be a wrestling fan in the time that we have, like for us, we have seen CM Punk for as long as you've seen him, you know, and then we've seen the last 7 years of what Punk's legacy really did do for the wrestling industry. You know what I mean? Like the eyes that he drew to the sport, the things that he did for the guys backstage and in the locker rooms, right? Like opening doors where, you know, perhaps there's, I mean, you know, this is just me thinking out loud. CM Punk could have possibly influenced the culture that made AEW possible. You know what I mean? And so, like, giving him that moment in Chicago, you know, promoting All Out in Chicago, you know what I mean?
It's a good moment.
It's awesome, you know?
Absolutely. The loudest pop I've heard in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many moments of when we've heard pops like that. Possibly Sting, his first time back coming to WWE. Possibly The Rock after an 8-year layoff from 2004 to 2011, I believe it was. So there, and then Hogan's, we talked about it yesterday, Hogan's first time showing up in a WWE ring from 93 all the way till 2002 being in WCW, and then his first time being in WWE back. A couple moments, but this CM Punk moment, this had to be the biggest ovation I've heard on TV ever.
Yeah.
100%
agree. 100% agree.
It was an Austin pop.
Yeah, I
don't think we could call it an Austin pop anymore. We call it a Punk pop because that was a loud pop.
I like that.
It was a loud pop. Well, gentlemen, it is just after. Okay. Oh, yeah. Triple H at MSG. That was a huge pop. Dave, me, you, and Rob, and Mario were there for that when Triple H first came back. Taz at MSG. That was a pretty big one. But none of which, in my opinion, compared to what we saw last night.
A little bias in there for me, but
for sure. It is just after 1:30 in the morning. It is Sunday morning.
I gotta use the bathroom.
SummerSlam went on way too long, in my opinion. But we will all be back here tonight. Tonight is NXT TakeOver 36, which will be a better.
Get some sleep.
I know. Hey, listen, I don't have to get up tomorrow morning. Thank God I'll be able to make up for this.
Me too.
I don't have to get up, thank God. But tonight, TakeOver 36.
Oh, man.
So we're in for a good show there. So, and thankfully that show is not going to end anywhere near as late as it did.
Long. I start my first day at my new job on Monday, man. It needs to not.
But to all you guys that are watching and hung with us till 1:30 in the morning, we
What's
just
wrong
want to
with
let
you?
you
Go to
guys
bed.
know we appreciate you.
Yeah, we
We
appreciate you, but go to
appreciate
bed,
you.
man. It's been a
Well,
long day.
Dave Smith's a late guy. He's a night owl like myself.
Good for
But
him. Good for you,
we appreciate those that watched, and we will be back on later tonight. Those of you guys that are watching, we will catch you guys later to wrap up SummerSlam weekend, and we will talk to you all soon.
Woo!